and securities involve the risk of loss.
Summer seems even brighter when you've been inside a while. It's time to drive again with Honda, KBB.com's 2020 Best Value brand. You could get a great deal on the 2020 CRV or 2020 HRV with financing as low as 0.9% APR on select models. Visit the Honda Summer Clearance event today.
See your Southwest Florida Honda dealers or log on southwestfloridahondadealers.com.
For well-qualified buyer, see dealer for financing details based on 2020 brand image source from Kelly Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. There's a trend in the air conditioning business with the rip-off companies to become plumbers, electricians, and air conditioning companies all at the same time. The stories we hear about huge plumbing and electric work rip-offs go right along with the scams these firms tend to run with the AC side of their business. If your company is advertising AC, plumbing, and electric, it's very likely one of those scam artist telemarketing companies with the bait-and-switch cheap service call. If you need a plumber, hire a plumber. If you need an electrician, hire an electrician. If you need to throw money down a hole, pick one of those multi-trade firms, and they're more than willing to take your money. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. Bryant, whatever it takes. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on the YouTubes at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Just type it into the search bar. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. It helps to keep this going, what we're doing right now. And, of course, if you're watching on Facebook as well, that's how we do all of this. Coming up this morning, a couple of interesting conversations. One is Eric Trump. I had a chance to speak to him yesterday. They've got a little bus tour going on here in the state of Florida. They were in Kissimmee, so you'll get to hear that interview coming up this hour. And then Corey Lewandowski is going to join us at 7 o'clock as well. I'll kind of dig into some of the issues with Joe Biden, as we all know, plus really getting into where we're going right now with regard to what we may possibly see this election cycle, and then forward. Let's not forget that a Joe Biden presidency will mean a lot of changes to what we know right now fundamentally. There have been some people that have talked about fundamental changes in the past. There have been some presidents that were thinking that they would love to fundamentally change the country and did their best to do it. And if you think that somehow, some way that Joe Biden is just going to be a light version of Barack Obama, as far as policy goes, as far as the politics that are out there, that might not be the case. It may be full steam ahead with who Joe Biden will be surrounding himself with coming up this year. I mean, even the Veep stakes. Where are we in the Veep stakes right now? We're told for 1 minute, Susan Rice. Susan Rice is the choice. We're not really so sure if Susan Rice is the choice. They had an interview going on with Kamala Harris. She's looking like a possibility. No, it looks like it's not going to happen. Now, reportedly, Kamala Harris is in the lead in the Biden Veep stakes. So we can even get into that. And then all of this surrounded by the events yesterday and how we are able to see leadership, calm leadership. Yesterday, White House press briefing, the president opening up and talking about the economy and the way it was and how now we have more jobs, we have things turning around, we have a stock market that is up 50% from where it was back in March. All the positive things that are going on, right? And as the president is speaking yesterday,
looks like they're just about going to be topping records hopefully soon.
Excuse me?
And there he goes. And someone from the Secret Service whispers over to the president. The president looks and asks, what's happening? And then he whispers something else in the president's ear. And the president stops, looks at the individuals there, the press corps, and says, all right. And off he goes. And then we come to find out that a man was shot near the White House, halting the press briefing, ran aggressively towards Secret Service agents, claimed to have a weapon. There's video that's out there now of the shooting of this suspect, and you can clearly see a gun in his hand, and you can see the Secret Service clearly kicking the gun away from him. It's as clear as day yesterday on a bright, sunny day where you can see exactly what was happening in this drawing motion, crouched into a shooter stance, and the president comes back into the briefing as calm as can be, showing leadership, showing calm in a situation where you don't know how others would have reacted. And the president says,
so thank you very much. Sorry for that. There was a shooting outside of the White House and seems to be very well under control. I'd like to thank the Secret Service for doing their always quick and very effective work. But there was an actual shooting, and somebody's been taken to the hospital. I don't know the condition of the person. It seems that the person was shot by Secret Service. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, did you have something? No, there are no details. We just found out just now. It was outside of the White House, this area right over here.
And the president proceeded to, for the next 7 or 8 minutes, even though the president telling the media that he just didn't have any more details than what they were asking. Certainly a press that wanted to find out more, asking a lot of questions. But then ultimately the president being asked,
I don't know. Do I seem rattled? It's unfortunate that this is a world, but the world's always been a dangerous place. It's not something that's unique. The world has been, you look back over the centuries, the world has been a dangerous place, very dangerous place, and it will continue, I guess, for a period of time.
And you can only imagine in that moment what everyone is thinking. A media who, in a lot of ways, there were people, for example, Deborah Saunders, who is a White House correspondent for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, somebody who's not exactly a fan of the president or the Republican Party, as it were, and even she tweeted out, credit where it's due, the president bringing calm to the turmoil. And that's what was happening yesterday. There was calm being brought in this tumultuous situation. You have a suspect being shot by Secret Service agents. Can you imagine Secret Service agents and the job that they have to do each and every day to protect the president? I know Dan Bongino was talking about a couple of different situations like this on Twitter. He was mentioning the fact that, look, there's a red line. There is a red line when somebody gets out in a crouched position, pulls a weapon, you take action. When you hear and you see what someone is doing just outside of the White House, there is a red line. There is a moment in time where you're going to make that decision, and you're going to make the decision that was made yesterday. And then after that, securing the White House, and then having this president being so calm and deliberate and saying, listen, does he seem rattled? And to a larger degree, and others seeing it as well in the media. Look, give credit where it's due, bringing calm in this turmoil. That's the kind of calm that I think many people believe has always been there with this president. that he has always had on display for people, even during the pandemic, even during times of impeachment and the like, and knowing that there is a media that's out there and there are individuals that are out there that just want to stoke this fire, that just want to continue to poke and try to rattle. And when you have what is the ultimate situation in a lot of people's eyes that I talked to yesterday, when you have that ultimate situation where you have a media that doesn't know what's happening, asking a lot of questions, the president calmly trying to answer all of these questions.
We don't know yet. We don't know. They're going to find out.
Do you know if the individual said anything, sir? Mentioned your name, anything like that?
We don't know that yet.
It was the Secret Service that did shoot this
It
suspect?
seems to be, yeah.
It seems to be.
Where were you taking, Mr. President? Were you taking to the bunker?
No, we're taking just out over to the Oval Office.
Just calmly answering all the questions and, understanding that the media was trying to look for everything. They're looking for a motive at that moment. They're even asking if anything was yelled at the president.
From what I understand, the answer is yes.
He was armed, Mr. President?
That's what I understand. I don't know. You'll have to ask.
About being armed, yeah.
What type of weapon?
I don't know that.
Was
No,
it a male or a female
I
suspect?
don't know. You'll have to get. They'll have a detailed, maybe a briefing for you outside later. I don't know. I didn't ask that question. It might not have had anything to do with me. It might have been something else. But it was on the outside of the premises. The wall, the as you know, the fencing, especially the new fencing that they put up, is very powerful. But it was on the outside of the White House. Okay, and they'll have a full report. Secret Service in a little while will have a full report.
Yeah, and so even after the president talking about that there would be a moment where there would be a briefing so that everybody could get up to date on all of this, still the pressure of this moment in time and this issue of something that happened that took the president out of this White House press briefing, and then the president to come back and calmly engage and get back to business. Regardless, the bigger picture in this was that many people looked at this from the outside and said, hey, this is a president who comes in, who is calm amongst all of the turmoil that was happening around him. And I think that is going to be indicative of what we would see for another 4 years afterwards, that there would be calm during all the turmoil that's going to be happening, and understanding that even in the broader picture, that America does come first. This country comes first. Its citizens come first, and to do whatever it takes to protect and to make sure that as we move forward, that we are looking out for American citizens amongst all the chaos and the crazy that is going on outside. I mean, we see what happened in Chicago, and we're told by certain organizations that it was just frustration boiling over in Chicago, but yet there's video of people calmly looting all over the city, and the question is why, and why does that have to happen if these are peaceful protests, and that you're looking for somebody with that kind of calm and resolve in a president. And so that was very telling yesterday. And the people that I talked to, maybe you saw the same thing. 239-479-5592. If you want to comment on what you heard and what you saw yesterday and with the president, so we can talk about that coming up. Also coming up this morning, a couple of other things I want to get to. In about 15 more minutes, we will have our interview yesterday with Eric Trump, who was kind enough to call in and talk about what's going on in the state and this Florida bus tour that's happening. Started in Kissimmee yesterday, so we'll get to that. Corey Lewandowski coming up at 7 o'clock as well. Be curious to get his take on a lot of what has been happening. You also have a lot of Florida news, including the election and what is happening here. You know, Florida Democrats aim to register 1 million voters by now. Remember that? Remember Andrew Gillum? I'm going to get 1 million people. We're going to get 1 million new voters. Yeah, they didn't come close. Not my words. That's the Tampa Bay Times. Should talk about that as well coming up. Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go to Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and we appreciate it. Let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Traffic is slowing in Lehigh Acres on Alabama heading south of Homestead. Already delays as well on 82 west to Gunnery. Now, if you are commuting on the interstate, you're good to go heading to and from Lee and Collier County. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
94 degrees, a hot and humid day of weather with our heat index over 100. Sunny and dry morning, and then by the afternoon and evening hours, keep your eyes to the sky with scattered showers and thunderstorms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Gulf Shore Business Magazine, online at gulfshorebusiness.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
A California judge says Uber and Lyft should classify their drivers as employees, not independent workers, due to the state's new gig law. But he put the ruling on hold to allow the ride-sharing companies to appeal. Pink slips are flying at AT&T's Warner Media as part of a restructuring led by the new CEO. At least 600 workers losing their jobs following an executive shakeup at the company's HBO streaming service. Retailers say a bicycle shortage caused by the pandemic is likely to last through next year. And the Dow surged 358 points yesterday as investors bet the federal government will come through with fresh stimulus spending. But the Nasdaq lost 42 points after big tech stocks pulled back after their recent run-up. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report. Invested in you.
Are you ready for retirement?
You don't have to cross your fingers and toes hoping for growth in this unpredictable stock market. There is a more conservative way, and that's to invest for income without all the stock market risk.
Call the Retirement Income Store at 866-935-9807 for a free, no-obligation conversation with one of our income specialists.
The Retirement Income Store, where retirees go for income.
Online at theretirementincomestore.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Lee County Commissioner Ray Sandelli has the business experience and conservative principles we need on our county commission, and Governor Ron DeSantis agrees. When Governor DeSantis appointed Ray Sandelli to the county commission, he said Ray's great business and military background will be of benefit to the community. And he has not let us down. Ray Sandelli is committed to continue working with Governor DeSantis to fight for clean water, to rebuild our economy, and to bring new jobs to Lee County. A Navy veteran, Ray Sandelli was an officer, aviator, and member of the prestigious Blue Angel flight demonstration team. And as a businessman, his career spanned for more than 40 years from coast to coast. Ray Sandelli knows what it takes to create jobs and grow an economy. He stands for lower taxes that puts more money in your pocket and less regulations to get government out of the way of job creators. Voting by mail has begun. Send in your ballot today with a vote for Ray Sandelli for Lee County Commission District 3.
Paid by Ray Sandelli, Republican, for Lee County Commission District 3.
Majority Leader of the Florida House, Dane Eagle.
This is Dane Eagle. My desperate opponents are attacking my conservative record with lies and distortions. Let's set the record straight. I'm Dane Eagle, and I have the strongest record against illegal immigration in this field. I voted against tuition for illegals 3 times. As Republican Majority Leader, I blocked the Democrats' attempt to give them driver's licenses and work with Governor DeSantis to expand E-Verify and ban sanctuary cities. Sure, I supported Mitt Romney over Barack Obama in 2012. So did President Trump, and I bet you did too. I'm Dane Eagle, and I'm the only person in this race to stand with President Trump on the Second Amendment. I sponsored nearly 20 bills in the Florida House to protect and defend your right to keep and bear arms. I'm Dane Eagle, and I approve this message because it's the truth. I'm being attacked by Washington insiders and self-funders because they have no record of their own. I'm Dane Eagle, and I'm asking for your vote.
Thank you, Dane.
Paid for by Dane Eagle for Congress.
That's what sleeping with a CPAP sounds like. If you can't use CPAP, imagine pressing a button and it sounding like this. That's sleeping with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, just a button. If you have sleep apnea, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Hi, Matt Caldwell here, and we've reached the silly season in politics. It's amazing President Trump ever won any election, considering so many ads tell us that everyone is a never-Trumper. True never-Trumpers left the Republican Party years ago. Fact is, it's the candidates with nothing to offer that are still beating this dead horse. I'm Matt Caldwell, and I'm proud of my record. I wasn't afraid to stand against socialist Charlie Crist when he tried to drag our state to the left. I've stood against wasteful tax increases and bucked leadership to defend the Second Amendment. I've championed term limits and never bowed to environmental radicals. There's no doubt that I've made some mistakes along the way. Who hasn't? But I've been willing to lead the fight, and I'm not stopping now. I'm Matt Caldwell. When you mark your ballot this August, make sure you vote for the candidates that have actually delivered for this community. That's who President Trump and our republic need most of all. Paid by Matt Caldwell, Republican for State Committee Man.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on YouTube at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and we appreciate you subscribing. Coming up, our conversation with Eric Trump from yesterday. He's in the state of Florida, along with Corey Lewandowski and Pam Bondi and Jeanette Nunez, the lieutenant governor, as they are going around the state. They've got this bus tour happening and talking about a lot of the things that are going on with this president. Obviously, there are things to look forward to for the next 4 years, and we'll talk about that. So our interview with Eric Trump is coming up. Corey Lewandowski will join us at 7 o'clock as well. And then also a lot of conversation this morning about some local politics, get into some of the local issues, and that's all coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. There's a trend in the air conditioning business with the rip-off companies to become...
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? I just wanted to say hi to everybody who's watching on YouTube and on Facebook. I thank you so much for watching. Hope you stick around. I had a conversation with Eric Trump yesterday, so I'll air that coming up. Corey Lewandowski is going to join us at 7. It's going to be a really, really busy morning and a busy week, as you can imagine, and hopefully everyone is getting ready. You've voted already. You've done your mail-in, your absentee, or you're just getting ready to go in person, and that is great to hear. Love to hear from you, maybe your thoughts on what is going on locally in some of the races, to see what it is that you're thinking. And so we're going to talk about that coming up this morning as well. So thank you for watching. Stay right there, and we'll be back in a minute.
Kathleen Pasadomo, and I asked for your support and your vote for Bibiana Podestad for State Representative District 105. Bibiana is a part of the next generation of conservative leaders who will keep Florida's Republican Party on the right track. I have no doubt that she will serve Floridians with character and integrity. I trust her to stand up for our Republican values and provide the leadership at the State House that our residents deserve. And I ask that you join me in voting for Bibiana Podestad for State Representative.
This is former Congressman Lincoln Diaz-Balart. I'm proud to share with you my endorsement of Bibiana Podestad for State Representative. Bibiana is a dynamic and brilliant leader of admirable values and a true calling for public service. I know she will make us proud in Tallahassee. Please join me in supporting Bibiana Podestad for State Representative in our Republican primary.
Political advertising paid for and approved by Bibiana Podestad, Republican for State Representative, District 105.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana Kia.
Why? Why pay more for a used car or truck when Galliana Kia in Fort Myers can sell you a new car for less? 2020 Kia Forte LXS lease, just $49 per month. That's right, a new car for just $49 per month. 2020 Kia Rio, just $13,990. Yes, $13,990. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Galliana Kia has lenders to get almost anyone approved. Plus, we'll take any trade, in any condition, even if you're upside down. Why? Why? Why buy an overpriced used car when you can buy a new car for less? Brand new Kias, just $49 per month.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
At Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com. 24 months, 12,000 miles per year, $39.99 to assign plus tax title dealer and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval expires Month end.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Investigators say carbon monoxide poisoning may be to blame for killing a woman and 2 dogs inside their home. It happened yesterday off Grady Drive in North Fort Myers. In addition to the woman and dogs who died, another woman had to go to the hospital. A father left his 4-year-old son alone so he could go to DUI school. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office says Eric Sickler now faces child neglect charges. That young boy told deputies he woke up and could not find his dad, so he went for a walk outside. Sickler is now out of jail on bond, and deputies say the child is now with his mother. Cape Coral just took another step towards removing the Chiquita lock. The city gave approval for a hired law firm to ask the DEP for permission to remove the lock. Opponents of the plan fear removing it could have negative consequences for our water quality, but you boaters have experienced long wait times trying to get out to Cape Harbor. Bus stop benches to make sure your children are safe when they go to school are being ignored. Grass is growing over them and no maintenance is being done for upkeep. The Shield for Kids organization is now doing their best to clean up the benches in Lehigh Acres. Even though fewer kids are expected to ride the bus this fall, the group says they're still going to keep children safe at the bus stop. More COVID testing in Lee County. Today's testing takes place at Three Oaks Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Florida Department of Health in Lee County is teaming up with the Lee County government for the free walk-up testing. 300 tests will be available. And a Fort Myers man will speak to the Democratic National Convention next week. Aldo Martinez is a paramedic who came to our country at the age of 12. Martinez spent 7 days walking across the U.S.-Mexican border with his parents. He says he's very nervous to speak, but feels it's crucial. He doesn't know which night he'll speak yet, but his ultimate goal in life is to be a trauma surgeon. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is slowing in Lehigh Acres on Alabama heading south of Homestead. Already delays as well on 82 west to Gunnery. Now, if you are commuting on the interstate, you're good to go heading to and from Lee and Collier County. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Mother Nature on repeat as we're going to start sunny and dry. Temperatures in the 70s and then 90s. Scorcher of an afternoon as we are going to be popping up another round of scattered showers and storms. And a few of these storms could pack a punch. We do it all over again for your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way into the weekend. If you want to make those outdoor plans and stay dry, the earlier that you do it, the better you're going to be, because during the PM hours, scattered rain and storms with temps in the 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
92.5 Fox News.
We are going to make America great again.
Right, all along.
You know the problem in Washington? Too many politicians are full of should. They should keep promises, should serve the people, should avoid corruption. But when it's time to deliver, it's just a load of should. Then along comes Donald J. Trump, and the DC insiders, they lose their should. Byron Donalds is a lot like Trump that way. Donalds is willing to shake things up. You could take Trump's word for it.
I want to thank Representative Donalds. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him.
Now Byron Donalds is running for Congress. Donalds fought for low taxes in Tallahassee. He'll keep fighting to protect your paycheck in Congress. Donalds backs term limits. And Donalds stands with Trump to defend our police. Conservative Republican Byron Donalds for Congress. He'll make a difference in Washington. No should. Paid for by Club for Growth Action. Clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Are you ready to embark on your healthcare journey? At Millennium Physician Group, we want you, our patient, to be in good health always. That's why we created our Destination Health New Patient Program. It's all about partnering with your primary care provider to achieve the best healthcare outcome for you. Now, are you ready for the journey of your life? Connect with Millennium Physician Group and be on your way to Destination Health. Call 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG, millenniumphysician.com.
Conservative businessman Kevin Ruane knows what it takes to balance a budget, create jobs, and grow an economy, and has the record to prove it. As mayor of Sanibel, Kevin Ruane put his conservative principles and business experience to work. He cut taxes more than 26% while slashing debt and rebuilding the rainy day fund. He'll do the same thing as our Lee County Commissioner. Kevin Ruane knows that to get our economy back on its feet, we need to keep our businesses open, and he'll fight to do so. And he believes in individual liberties and personal responsibility. That's why he fought against government mandates forcing you to wear a face mask. Kevin Ruane knows our water quality is directly linked to our economy. He's worked with Washington and Tallahassee to get the funding needed to reduce Lake Okeechobee discharges. He's proven himself as the clear choice to get results to restore our local waterways. Let's put Kevin Ruane to work for us to create jobs and fix our water quality. Paid by Kevin Ruane, Republican for Lee County Commissioner, District 1.
Today, Byron Donalds claims he's for law and order. Yesterday, he wanted weaker sentences for felons.
We're going to provide some additional time off of sentences.
Yesterday, Byron Donalds, arrested for drugs and theft himself, wanted compassion for drug dealers.
Giving discretion to judges in some drug offenses.
Today, Byron claims he's for President Trump and a safe election. Yesterday,
we do want convicted felons to get their rights to vote.
Who will Byron Donalds be tomorrow? Paid for by Honesty America, not endorsed by any candidate or any candidates committee.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Streaming live always on YouTube at Drew Steele Radio. Steele with 3 E's. Love having Eric Trump on the radio. And there's kind of like this little bus tour that's kicking off going on here in the state. And he's joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. How are you this morning?
Hey, Drew, how are you? We're running around on the biggest red bus you've ever seen in your life. Everywhere we go, we have people honking. They're giving us thumbs up. They're clapping. They're literally high-fiving out the window. I mean, it's awesome. The spirit in Florida is great. We're going to victory offices. They have hundreds and hundreds of people at them. We just went to Latinos for Trump, and I mean, the spirit in the room was unlike anything that you've ever seen before. And I'm feeling very, very good about Florida. I'm feeling very good about Florida.
Yeah, we are as well. And I have to tell you, sometimes the problem is most of the country gets the mainstream, right? They get the mainstream media. They don't get to see a lot of the behind the scenes, a lot of the things that you get to see. And especially when we do events like this, if you have something like this that's happening, there are people that absolutely want to be there to support you, to support the president, to show their support. And this is just one of those ways where when you have a president who's been keeping his promises, and we can talk about that right now, that's what it's all about. It's about getting the job done, and he's been able to do that.
It's also about having a president who actually cheerleads for America and fights for this country. And I mean, I've had more people, I'm telling you, on this bus. I'm here with the lieutenant governor, who's incredible. I'm here with Pam Bondi today. But I'm telling you, the last 2 stops, I've been in front of more people today than Joe Biden's been in front of in the last 6 months. I mean, the guy's been in his basement, so that might be, that might not impress anybody. But I'm telling you, this spirit's incredible. And my father's been a cheerleader for this country, and it's what this country lacked for a long time. And you look at what Biden did. I mean, but Biden and Obama would go around the world apologizing for America being the greatest country on earth, being the greatest civilization in world history. And they go around, they so sorry. They go over to China, they would bow, they would bow to the president of China. Thank you very much. I mean, we had so little respect that when they went over to China, when Obama went over to China, they didn't even bring a staircase out to the Air Force One. You probably remember that scene where they put down the little emergency hatch on the back of Air Force One, and he comes walking out onto the bare concrete. There's no red carpet. There's no marching band. I mean, my father would have literally put the stairs back up, said, "Listen, guys, we're getting the hell out of here." He would have taken off 12 seconds later, and they would have been back to America. And we had literally lost that respect. And my father's been a great cheerleader for this country. What he's done with jobs, even look at the stock market today. I mean, the stock market is high 27,000s right now. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's coming roaring back. You saw the jobs report on Friday, which 1.8 million people added. You know, I fully believe you'll hold China accountable. You know, China should pay for this freaking mess that they've created in you know, around the world, not just in America, but around the world. But, you know, their military's rebuilt, and, you know, we finally have freedom of speech again. You know, he's bucking cancel culture every single day, and, you know, he's religious liberty is finally back. Remember, you know, Obama was talking about clinging to your Bibles, and my father's protecting the Second Amendment, and you know, he's protecting our vets, and he's protecting our military and our law enforcement. I mean, what's happening to law enforcement in the country right now is just a disgrace.
Yeah,
and honestly, it's the other party's just unrecognizable.
Yeah, we've talked about this so many times where, you know, the job that the president has been able to do has been amazing, and everybody sees it and we know it, and it's tangible, right? Eric, it's one of those things where everybody felt it. It was tangible. It wasn't just words, it was deeds, and people understood. They had in their pocketbook and the feeling around the country and the things that were going right, and it was happening. And then of course the virus comes along, but it always turns out to be those things that people feel are tangible. They know it, they recognize it, and they understand it. And then when you have all the pushback that we seem to forget, this all happened with a Democrat Party that's ready to burn it all down. They are ready and admit it. They don't hide it anymore, and they want to burn it down. And all of those good things happened knowing you had a party that was against them. And then, of course, the Russian collusion hoax and everything else. Imagine if this president gets a real legitimate shot and people would just back up and just say, look, enjoy the ride, okay? Enjoy it. Will you please?
Well, they're disappointed that a guy who knew nothing about politics, who was never a politician before, right, went in and beat, you know, their messiah, Hillary Clinton, who outraised him 7-1 and had every political advantage and knew the game around Washington, D.C. I mean, they couldn't believe it, right? And the same thing is happening now, right? They all feel like they're anointed. And, you know, Joe Biden, I'm not, you know, the youngest guy in the world. I'm certainly not the oldest guy in the world, but Joe Biden has been in office substantially longer than I've been alive. And you know, he blames the problems of this country on my father.
Yeah.
Right. And my father's been there for 3.5 years. The guy's been there for 45, almost 50 years. I mean, think about that notion. Then you look at Nancy Pelosi, and you look at Jerry Nadler, and you look at all these swamp creatures. I mean, they've never actually signed the front of a check, right? They've been taking for government their entire adult lives, and more, right? They don't want to lose power. I mean, power has corrupted these people. So they realize they have no existence. They have no skill set outside of Washington, D.C., and they really have no skill set in Washington, D.C. either. But it's a really an amazing thing. And so, you know, why are they so unhinged? Why are they so triggered? Why are they lashing out the way they are? They can't believe that a wealthy, you know, real estate guy from New York understood the tone of this country substantially better, and by the way, is a better fighter and has more backbone, despite the media being against, despite everything being against him, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, they literally can't handle it. And you know, he has created a movement where, you know, we're going to stand for the American flag. We're not going to burn the American flag. That's not what Americans do, right? And then you see these athletes who are making $30 million a year, you know, playing some, you know, silly sport. You know, they're all kneeling because they have contracts with Nike and they have contracts with other people, and the Chinese government are telling them to, otherwise they can't sell their products, you know, in those. It's insane. He's doing what everybody wants done in this country. And then you have this other faction, the political elite, and, you know, the super wealthy, you know, this and that. And, you know, they're literally trying to cancel our voices in this country. And my father's standing up for it. He's not going to let it happen. And he's really become the mouthpiece for so many Americans who've just felt so left behind and so, you know, betrayed by their own political, you know, leaders.
Yeah. Eric Trump joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. The Florida bus tour is kicking off. They're in Kissimmee and heading all around. And it's great to see them out and about. And certainly there are people who, would love to be at a Trump rally. You know, and you've tweeted about these before, right? You see the boat parades, you know, you see all of these things that people are trying to do to show support in so many creative ways, which has got to make the president feel great. And of course you as well, seeing all of that support, knowing that people are out there and want to continue, that silent majority that I really believe it, Eric. I really believe in my heart of hearts that there's a lot of that going on right now. There are individuals, when you have these some of these polls that people just may not even want to say anything, but at the same time, they know where they're going. They understand what's been tangible to them. They understand all of that, and they don't have any problem at the end of the day when they've got to make that choice. Because
78%, that's the actual number, 78%. 78% of kind of Republicans do not want to say who they're voting for.
Yeah.
So you see the tip of that iceberg, and we have a very vocal, vocal crowd that's screaming every day. But I'm telling you, they represent that 10%, out of the water, and that 90% underneath the water, underneath the surface.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I hear from them every day because people clearly aren't afraid to tell me that they're voting for us, but I hear it all the day. I got a call from a pollster the other day. They said, who are you voting for? I told him Hillary Clinton, even though Hillary's not on the ballot, right? Like, I told him, Gary Johnson, even though the guy's, not even running this time. Like, we have a lot of wise guys who are part of this, and they're tough and they're pro-American, and I hear it all the time. I mean, I just, in fact, at the last stop, I heard it from an incredible woman who's, sitting there in, the Trump T-shirt, Trump 2020, and she was there with her daughter, and she said that I just got a call from pollster, and I said I was voting for Biden. I mean, let's throw these guys off as much as possible, and then you have their fake polls, and I'm telling you, he's got no enthusiasm.
Yeah.
He called Arizona a city last week. I mean, he goes, it's wonderful to be in the great city of Arizona. He said he was running for, United States Congress when he was running for commander-in-chief. 3 days ago, he said that the African-American community wasn't a diverse community. The Hispanic community is very diverse, but the African-American community is very monolithic and isn't diverse at all. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's unbelievable.
Right.
I mean, what this guy isn't playing with a full deck. That much I can tell you. I mean, Joe Biden's doing more interviews than Joe Biden is. He won't take a serious question.
Yeah.
Every single time I'd like to call on my local friend from the Wilmington, Delaware paper. It's like, oh, great. Wilmington, Delaware, like it's his best friend. He's clearly pre-approved these questions. These questions that come, at him are the biggest fluff, nothing puff pieces.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, then you look at Jim Acosta screaming and ranting and raving at my father all day in the, in the Rose Garden. Like, he literally won't do a serious interview, and he doesn't want to debate. They want the debates to be as late as possible, so early voting's in. And listen, I could go on and on, but I feel really good about. I feel really good about Florida, and
we do too.
I really believe we're going to win. And by the way,
yeah,
you're lucky that you're one of the only states that has honest voting. You can vote absentee in this state and not have to worry about a thing. You can track your ballot all the way through. And so I'd encourage people, vote absentee, vote by mail. You have a great governor, and it's 100% secure in this state, and you can track your ballots. And it's not like Nevada and Pennsylvania and other states that they're trying to place.
Oh yeah, they're big numbers now. They're big numbers now. There's no doubt that, and you're spot on. And especially when we see what is happening in other states. What is it now? 40 some odd days after the election in New York, and they still don't know, or did they finally wrap it up? It's the perfect example of what will happen, unfortunately, if you're allowed to wait until Joey Bag of Donuts has got a couple of things in the back of his pickup truck. Let's bring them in and add those up as well. I mean, it sounds like I'm being silly. It sounds like I'm being hyperbolic, but it's not.
No, voter fraud only goes one way, unfortunately. I have a friend who just had 6 ballots mailed to her house. This was a little local school board election. She was married twice, so 2 in her ex's names, her pre-married names, one in her maiden name, one that was missing a middle initial, and so she got 6 ballots. She literally took a picture of it, sent it to me. She goes, "This is exactly what's going to happen across the country, right?" And then you've got to compound that. People die, people move from house to house, they move across the street. Again, they get married, they change names, they do all sorts of things. I'm like, that's what's going to happen in these states, and the Democrats are perfectly fine with it. It's
sure.
They know this. That's why they're doing it. But you're very, very lucky in Florida. You do not have that problem. You get to track your ballot all the way through. They're not just dropping boxes of ballots in the basements of buildings, and so you have a great state. So I encourage voting by mail. But we're fighting very hard on a national level.
Yeah, no doubt. But I'll tell you, it's going to pay off in the long run. People feeling really good about the president, certainly here in Southwest Florida. A lot of support, and and we're looking forward to hopefully seeing you soon and seeing the president with big crowds around him once again. We're looking forward to that day because nobody brings people together to one location like your dad. It's true. It's amazing. All right, Eric Trump joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I know you've got to run. You got a bus to get back on and move around, and they're heading out from Kissimmee all over, and there's lots of great things happening with the Trump campaign, and we appreciate a few minutes of your time. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News right all along. Let's find out what's happening with traffic right now. Up to the minute, here is Sabrina Katz.
The crash in Fort Myers at River Hall Parkway and Palm Beach Boulevard is still slowing traffic westbound. The best way to navigate around this, Old Olga Road. Also slowdowns in Lehigh Acres on State Road 82 to Sunshine, as well as to Gunnery Road, and southbound delays on 6 Mile to Daniels Parkway. Cape Coral commuters, there is a slowdown building on Skyline south to Cape Coral Parkway. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
94 degrees, a hot and humid day of weather with our heat index over 100. Sunny and dry morning, and then by the afternoon and evening hours, keep your eyes to the sky with scattered showers and thunderstorms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Rush Limbaugh. Last weekend, there was an op-ed in the Washington paper, The Hill, and it raised a question. Why New York City loses more residents than any other city. Now, according to libertarian author Kirsten Tate, 270 New Yorkers abandon the city every day. Taxes play a major role. New York City residents have the highest tax burden in the country. Now, Democrat Mayor de Blasio brags that he wants to tax the hell out of the rich. Democrat Governor Andrew Cuomo, the brother of Fredo, has made it even worse. So a lot of residents are crying uncle. Since they can't fully deduct their state and local taxes anymore because of Trump's tax reform, they are escaping to lower tax states like Florida and Texas. It's also about quality of life. After years of declining crime, thanks to mayors like Giuliani, violent crime is rising again. The cops are afraid to make arrests. It's predictable. City schools are failing. 200 schools need serious reform, according to the Department of Education. And then there's the staggering cost of living. Rents and real estate prices are at an all-time high. So they're leaving. But you know what they're doing? They're going to other states, and they're taking everything that destroyed New York with them. They're not learning anything. And we're paying the price when these people come and infect our states. I would prefer they stay in New York and keep the destruction local. Hiring can be tough, but there's one place you can go where hiring is smart, where it's efficient, where businesses are connecting with qualified candidates. It's called ZipRecruiter. Codable co-founder Gretchen Habner knows firsthand. After unsuccessfully searching for a new game artist to grow her education tech company, she switched to ZipRecruiter to find a qualified artist. She saw an immediate difference. She hired the right person in less than 2 weeks. She was surprised to find so many qualified applicants on ZipRecruiter. Now, that's because ZipRecruiter does not depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. And that's in addition to posting the position on more than 100 of the leading job sites. It's no wonder 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Put ZipRecruiter to work for you. Try it free now at ZipRecruiter.com/rush. That's ZipRecruiter.com/rush. ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
I'm going to give you a thought for a second and see what your reaction is like. You ready? Here we go. I hand you a glass. It's filled with something you don't know what it is, but I ask you to cover your eyes and then take a sip. Aren't you doing that every time you're opening up your faucet at home? You drink that water, you're not sure what's in it, but you drink it anyway. Well, that's the thing. You should call Max at Pelican Water Systems and find out what's really in your home's water now. Pelican Water Systems, now a part of Pentair, is a leader in safe, sustainable drinking water, and you can schedule your free Pentair water test right now. And for city or well water, you're going to love the way your water tastes from every faucet with your Pentair water system. So is your family. Pentair's Smart Combo is the salt-free alternative, certified and guaranteed to reduce 99% of scale, 97% of chlorine, no lugging in bags of salt, and the Advantage Salt System, well, that can take care of even the hardest water. So call Max. He's your local expert, a trained Pentair water specialist. There's never any pressure. Give him a call now, 239-880-7799. You can find the best summer deals right now online, PelicanWestFL.com.
Building a dream takes hard work, discipline, determination. Casey Asghar started with nothing, but his hard work created jobs. His discipline shaped a community. His determination built an American dream. Those same qualities built our nation. And to rebuild our economy, we need them now more than ever.
I'm Casey Asghar, and I approve this message. My family came to America to pursue the American dream. We owe it to our children to keep the dream alive.
Paid for by Casey Asghar for Congress.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. A big thank you to Eric Trump for joining us. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday. You heard the interview. Coming up, Corey Lewandowski is going to join us. Boy, a lot to talk about, certainly, politically speaking, and then with Joe Biden and, oh man, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm even looking, I'm sorry, there are so many stories that pop up throughout the morning. Hey, there's a Brooklyn College professor of math education. Her name is Lori Rubel, and she's arguing this week on Twitter that the mathematical equation 2 + 2 = 4, quote, you ready? Reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. And we got to do something about it. Our friends at Campus Reform were the ones that talked about this. And yeah, she said there's a trend in recent scholarships of American academics, and that, objective truth is a social construct. Like 2 + 2 isn't really 4, Jake the millennial. It's not really. It's more. It's something we have to figure out. It sure sounds like it reeks of white supremacy, and maybe we can do something to change that. 2
So
+
wait,
yeah.
you're telling me that simple math is racist?
What I'm telling you is we're going to take a break. Pretty much, yeah. According to crazy leftists who are teaching your kids. Well, we'll talk more about this story coming up. Don't worry about it. When we come back, live with us, Corey Lewandowski, we'll have a conversation with him coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, Matt Caldwell here, and we've reached the silly season in politics. It's amazing President Trump ever won any election, considering so many ads tell us that everyone is a never-Trumper. True never-Trumpers left the Republican Party years ago. Fact is, it's the candidates with nothing to offer that are still beating this dead horse. I'm Matt Caldwell, and I'm proud of my record. I wasn't afraid to stand against socialist Charlie Crist when he tried to drag our state to the left. I've stood against wasteful tax increases and bucked leadership to defend the Second Amendment. I've championed term limits and never bowed to environmental radicals. There's no doubt that I've made some mistakes along the way. Who hasn't? But I've been willing to lead the fight, and I'm not stopping now. I'm Matt Caldwell. When you mark your ballot this August, make sure you vote for the candidates that have actually delivered for this community. That's who President Trump and our republic need most of all. Paid by Matt Caldwell, Republican for State Committeeman.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
I'm Dr. William Figelstaller, and this election cycle, you have choices. As you sit down to cast your vote, I hope you'll consider this. While all my career politician opponents are hiding behind their Washington super PACs, attacking each other and me, I've been focused on one thing, fighting for you and the conservative values we hold dear. Because tearing each other down is no way to build our country up. I'm Dr. William Figelstaller, I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote on August 18th.
Paid for by William Figglesalter, Republican, House District 19.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Investigators say carbon monoxide poisoning may be to blame for killing a woman and two dogs inside their home. It happened yesterday off Grady Drive in North Fort Myers. In addition to the woman and dogs who died, another woman had to go to the hospital. A father left his 4-year-old son alone so he could go to DUI school. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office says Eric Sickler now faces child neglect charges. That young boy told deputies he woke up and could not find his dad, so he went for a walk outside. Sickler is now out of jail on bond, and deputies say the child is now with his mother. Cape Coral just took another step towards removing the Chiquita lock. The city gave approval for a hired law firm to ask the DEP for permission to remove the lock. Opponents of the plan fear removing it could have negative consequences for our water quality, but you boaters have experienced long wait times trying to get out to Cape Harbor. Bus stop benches to make sure your children are safe when they go to school are being ignored. Grass is growing over them and no maintenance is being done for upkeep. The Shield for Kids organization is now doing their best to clean up the benches in Lehigh Acres. Even though fewer kids are expected to ride the bus this fall, the group says they're still going to keep children safe at the bus stop. More COVID testing in Lee County. Today's testing takes place at Three Oaks Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Florida Department of Health in Lee County is teaming up with the Lee County government for the free walk-up testing. 300 tests will be available. And a Fort Myers man will speak to the Democratic National Convention next week. Aldo Martinez is a paramedic who came to our country at the age of 12. Martinez spent 7 days walking across the U.S.-Mexican border with his parents. He says he's very nervous to speak, but feels it's crucial. He doesn't know which night he'll speak yet, but his ultimate goal in life is to be a trauma surgeon. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
The crash in Fort Myers at River Hall Parkway and Palm Beach Boulevard is still slowing traffic westbound. The best way to navigate around this, Old Olga Road. Also slowdowns in Lehigh Acres on State Road 82 to Sunshine, as well as to Gunnery Road, and southbound delays on 6 Mile to Daniels Parkway. Cape Coral commuters, there is a slowdown building on Skyline south to Cape Coral Parkway. The trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Mother Nature on repeat as we're going to start sunny and dry. Temperatures in the 70s and then 90s. Scorcher of an afternoon as we are going to be popping up another round of scattered showers and storms. And a few of these storms could pack a punch. We do it all over again for your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way into the weekend. If you want to make those outdoor plans and stay dry, the earlier that you do it, the better you're going to be, because during the PM hours, scattered rain and storms with temps in the 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Get a 2019 Buick Encore SUV with only 584 miles for $20,000. Practically a new car for thousands less. Or a 2004 Buick Park Avenue with only 56,000 miles. Florida condo car for $6,500. With over 300 vehicles, visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Right now, your home is more than a home. Your home is a safe place for you and your family in a challenging time. It's more important than ever that you protect the home that protects you in a storm. The fact is, flooding can happen to anyone, anywhere. And just 1 inch of water in your home can cause over $25,000 in damage. Keep safe. Protect your home with flood insurance. For more information, contact your insurance agent or visit floodsmart.gov/home.
This is your Republican State Senator and Senate Majority Leader Kathleen Passidomo, and I asked for your support and your vote for Bibiana Podestad for State Representative District 105. Bibiana is a part of the next generation of conservative leaders who will keep Florida's Republican Party on the right track. I have no doubt that she will serve Floridians with character and integrity. I trust her to stand up for our Republican values and provide the leadership at the State House that our residents deserve. And I ask that you join me in voting for Bibiana Podestad for State Representative.
This is former Congressman Lincoln Diaz-Balart. I'm proud to share with you my endorsement of Bibiana Podestad for State Representative. Bibiana is a dynamic and brilliant leader of admirable values and a true calling for public service. I know she will make us proud in Tallahassee. Please join me in supporting Bibiana Podestad for State Representative in our Republican primary.
Political advertising paid for and approved by Bibiana Podestad, Republican for State Representative, District 105.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Streaming live anytime you want to watch. We are on the YouTubes, as the kids call it, or they don't call it that at all. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Please subscribe while you're there. It helps to keep everything going. We do appreciate that. Speaking of keeping going, boy, Corey Lewandowski, they are going. They are on Team Trump bus tour. And happening right now, a lot going on. Corey Lewandowski, the senior advisor, Trump 2020, is joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. It's been a while. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you. And it's been busy out here in the state of Florida. I'll tell you what, certainly a very important state as people talk about swing states. People talk about the state of Florida. Talk a little bit about how important the state of Florida is to the Trump campaign, and certainly what you are seeing as you are here. What has it been like?
Well, the state of Florida, as you know, is ground zero for the Trump campaign, and it's so important. It's really the swing state of all the swing states in the country. It's, when you look just 2 years ago how close the races were for Governor DeSantis, for Rick Scott, 4 years ago how close the race was for Donald Trump. It is a battleground state. It's a state that has such a great history of picking the right people to win at the federal level. So for us, we've got a bus tour. We were in Orlando yesterday with Eric Trump.
Yep.
Pam Bondi, the lieutenant governor of Florida, was with us. We've got a great day planned today. We'll be back at the Villages. So we're all over the place. We're making sure that the people of Florida are not taken for granted. We're making sure that we're asking for every single vote. And we're encouraging people in Florida who have a long history of voting through the absentee ballot process to continue to do so, because Florida does it right. You track your ballot from the beginning, you know exactly where it's going to be, and your vote will be counted properly.
Yeah, that is interesting how people have kind of muddied the waters, if you will, the distinction between what is universal mail-in ballots and what is absentee, something that we do here in Southwest Florida. We have a ton of them that are happening as we speak. We know how people have responded to absentee and the safety and security of that vote here. But when you have let's just say the wrong people who have the wrong intentions, and they have the availability of making it sound as if, listen, we can't, it's a pandemic, Corey. What do you expect people to do? We're in a situation where people aren't even going to grocery stores. Well, they actually are going to grocery stores. Or they're not even getting out of their house. Well, they're kind of getting out of their house. And so to make this case that the only way to do this is to have universal mail-in, we'll just send it out to whoever and we'll see if Fluffy the cat comes back. And hey, but can you speak to that directly as well? You know, we saw what happened in New York, right? We We know how long it was taking for them to even have Democrats decide who amongst them they wanted, and the shady things that can go on when we have to wait, a week, 2 weeks? Nobody's even making it even a definite determination as to how long this is going to take if it were to be a universal mail-in ballot situation in some states, right?
Well, in some places, we're waiting 6 or 7 weeks for congressional races to be determined because they don't do it properly. Look, just this year, the state of Iowa, as it related to the caucus, took over a week for the Democrats to count 100,000 votes. And look, we're going to entrust them, as we say, with mail-in ballot voting, which is going to take them weeks to determine who the winner is. Florida is very different because Florida doesn't simply mail a ballot to every person and every pet that's ever been at an address. If you live at 123 Maple Street in Orlando, you don't get 15 ballots mailed to you. But if you live in that same location in Pennsylvania or in Nevada, then you do. And here's why. Because people get married. They change their last name. They move from one address to a different address. But the states who are doing this all mail-in ballot process are simply mailing a ballot to every person who has ever lived at that location. They're not doing signature verification. There's no identity. There's no identification that's required. In some places, they're not even requiring a postmark, meaning they also don't want to check to verify that only one person under that name has voted. So this is ripe for what we call ballot harvesting. It's a terrible thing to do. It does not occur in Florida. So if you're a Florida resident, particularly a Southwest Florida resident, which is such a great area for Donald Trump, thank you very much, guys, make sure that you are voting by absentee ballot. We call it mail-in ballot here. But there is a process in place that is a proven recipe for success in Florida. Please continue to use it.
Yeah. Corey Lewandowski joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, Trump 2020 senior advisor. They've got the Team Trump on tour. Bus tour that's happening as we speak right now here in the state of Florida. So, Corey, I wanted to kind of play a few clips of audio and have you comment on it, because on the other side of all of this, we have this.
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh?
For those that don't know and can't see, if you're not watching on YouTube, that's Joe Biden, who seems pretty angry these days when he's, I guess, when he's on certain programs and when he's when he's in his basement. I'm not sure where else he would be. It is mind-boggling to me, and maybe you can speak to this directly. Like, we're actually having this conversation about Democrats, that of all the Democrats that are out there on the planet and the choices that they have, this is their guy. That speaks volumes to who they are and what we will see moving forward. Kind of talk a little bit about that.
Think about this for 1 second. If you continue that clip, Joe Biden says, "Come on, man, are you a junkie?"
Yeah.
He asked the African-American reporter if they were a junkie. Okay, last week had to be the worst week in the world of Joe Biden, and they're getting continuously worse. But he had to say, what he said in the African-American community was, "You're monolithic. You're all the same." But the Hispanic community, no, you're very diverse. But the black community, you guys are all exactly the same, is basically what he said.
Yeah.
And he had to walk that back. And the reason he didn't announce his vice presidential candidate last week was because of these gaffes. Joe Biden doesn't have the mental acuity to serve as the leader of the free world. We know that. He said 130 million people have died from COVID, by the way. That's a lot of people. Okay, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's not 130 million people in the U.S. But it's time and time again where Joe Biden makes these gaffes, these mistakes, when he actually comes out of his basement and says something. And what we have seen now is his wife is answering more questions than he is.
Yeah.
Because this is not derogatory. This is not meant as a slight at Joe Biden. But when you reach Joe Biden's age, 78 years old, it's not early onset of Alzheimer's or early onset of dementia. That is exactly the age when those things happen, unfortunately. And Joe Biden, I believe, has a mental issue that he no longer can form coherent sentences. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what he's doing. And the fact that the Democrats have named him as their vice president, as their presidential nominee so far, is insanity to me. It's complete insanity because Joe Biden cannot answer a question. He will not do interviews. And so his pick for the vice president is going to probably be announced this week. And the reason for that is he has to prepare for weeks ahead of time of answering a question of why he's chosen a specific candidate. And his only criteria is that the person is a female. I think that's insulting to women. I think it's insulting to men. And now we're seeing that he's even under more pressure that the other criteria, not only do you have to be a woman, you have to be an African-American woman, which means if you're a Latino woman like the lieutenant governor of Florida, you would summarily be disqualified based on your ethnicity. That, to me, is outrageous. And the fact that nobody's talking about it is even scary because we know the mainstream media wants to support Sleepy Joe.
Yeah. Corey Lewandowski joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, Trump 2020 senior advisor. They've got this bus tour that's happening. They are out and about in the state of Florida, along with Eric Trump, who we had a chance to speak with yesterday, also Pam Bondi, and the lieutenant governor here of the great state of Florida, Jeanette Nunez. And, you know, one more piece of audio that I wanted to play for you and get your thoughts on this, because it really does speak volumes to what we are talking about with Democrats and Joe Biden moving forward. Because we could take a guess all day long, Corey, about who the vice presidential pick is going to be. It doesn't matter. What matters is fundamentally their politics will be the thing to worry about. And I think it was Nancy Pelosi who said this.
But the Chinese, what they said is China would prefer Joe Biden, whether they do. That's their conclusion.
That's their conclusion, Corey Lewandowski. China would prefer Joe Biden. I wonder why. I wonder why there are so many socialists, leftists, communists that would prefer Joe Biden. Any? Would you like to take a guess at maybe why?
Look, it's the first time I've ever agreed with Nancy Pelosi in my life. The fact is the communists do prefer Joe Biden, and the reason is Donald Trump has held China accountable, whether it's been a 25% tariff, which he's talked about for the last 5 years that he put on China, whether it is holding them accountable for the intellectual property that they have stolen from us, the currency manipulation they have, the flooding of our markets for certain goods. This president has been tough on China. The converse of that, of course, we all know the story. Hunter Biden, $1.5 billion from China. Can you imagine if Eric Trump or Don Jr. got $1.5 billion from some Chinese funds to go over there? I mean, look, the media would never give these guys a break. But, hey, it's Joe. Don't worry about it, is what the media says. So, of course, China wants Joe Biden. He's easy to manipulate. He's easy to negotiate against. Nobody wants to go to the negotiating table against Donald Trump because they know they know that they are going to lose. They know he's the toughest negotiator this country's ever had. And he has a very simple philosophy. It's called America First. It's two words. It's America First. Joe Biden, for the 50 years he's been in the D.C. swamp, he had the chance to change things. He failed at doing that, and now he's blaming the president for the last 3 years of our administration, and it's shameful. Joe is a failure. Of course China wants him, and they know if Donald Trump is reelected, they will continue to pay the price for the Wuhan virus, which they put into this world.
Hey, I got to make a mental note here as I write this down. Make sure next time Corey's on the program, play a Nancy Pelosi clip to get him completely worked up. Okay, good. I just wanted to...
I'll tell you, this is how I am every day. You look, when you're with Donald Trump, okay, and I've had the privilege to be next to this guy for 6 years, there is no off switch because he never, ever, ever shuts off. And you know how many times he has called me at 2 o'clock in the morning and says, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm not sleeping, sir. Absolutely not sleeping at 2 a.m. Don't you worry about that. He says, good, because I'm working. I'm trying to save this country, Lewandowski. Get back to work. He said, yes, sir. Look, when you're on fire, when you're near the president, and that's what it is. He's a businessman. He expects results. He demands results, and he runs the government like a business. And we're seeing those jobs come back to our economy now. We're seeing, people who want it. It's so simple, okay? This president wants to close our borders and open our schools. Think about that. The Democrats want to keep our schools closed and open our borders. Just think about that for 1 second. Everybody in this country is an immigrant at some level, but there has to be a proper way to do it. The Democrats want to keep our schools closed for fear of COVID-19. There are some places in this state and probably in other places in this country where the schools are the first line of defense against children who are neglected or don't have a good meal. and it's the only opportunity for them to go and be in a safe environment. And it's too bad, but that is the truth, because some parents are neglectful. And we have to make sure that we're taking care of our children. And the way to do that is you open our schools and you close our borders.
All right, Corey Lewandowski joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, Trump 2020 senior advisor, and we appreciate a few minutes. I know you're busy. I hope we'll get a chance to do this again soon. All the best.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
All right, we'll see you soon. All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along. Let's find out what's going on with traffic. By the way, anytime you want to see everything that's going on, just you can watch streaming live on YouTube right now. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and please subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. All right, let's find out what's happening with traffic. Up to the minute, it's Sabrina Katz.
The crash in Fort Myers at Riverhall Parkway and Palm Beach Boulevard is still slowing traffic for 1 mile heading westbound towards Buckingham Road. The best way to navigate around this, Old Olga Road. Also delays in Cape Coral on Del Prado Boulevard traveling north of Pine Island. To get around this slowdown, hop on Andalusia, fully up to speed. A very nice commute, though, heading out of Cape Coral on both bridges. Now in Fort Myers, traffic is just a touch slow on McGregor Boulevard, south to College Parkway. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
94 degrees, a hot and humid day of weather with our heat index over 100. Sunny and dry morning, and then by the afternoon and evening hours, keep your eyes to the sky with scattered showers and thunderstorms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
There's the left way, and then there's the right way. 92.5 Fox News, the conservative, smart, right voice of Southwest Florida.
County Commissioner Ray Sandelli's business experience and military background earned him Governor Ron DeSantis' appointment to the Lee County Commission. And Ray Sandelli is committed to working together with Governor DeSantis to rebuild our economy. He's fighting to protect our jobs and keep our businesses open. As a principled conservative, he knows our path to recovery lies with lower taxes and less regulations. County Commissioner Ray Sandelli brings 40 years of conservative business experience to Lee County. He knows what it takes to create jobs, grow economies, and isn't afraid to make the tough decisions. That's why Governor Ron DeSantis appointed him to the Lee County Commission, and Ray hasn't let him down. A naval officer and aviator, Ray Sandelli spent 8 years in the United States Navy and was a member of the prestigious Blue Angels flight demonstration team. He proudly served our nation and proudly stands for our flag. We can count on him to support our law enforcement. Ray Sandelli is a veteran, businessman, and conservative fighting for us on the County Commission. Paid electioneering communication paid for by SWFL Jobs Alliance. 1375 Jackson Street, Fort Myers, Florida, 33901.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and we've got my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And Dave, I got to tell you, the selection of floor coverings of Floor Meisters, unbelievable, fantastic. I've seen it myself, and the choices are there. But what we really want to talk about today is this Dreamweaver line of carpets. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what, Drew, this is the hottest thing since 5-buckle overshoes. We're just selling the heck out of it. Comes in 9 different patterns, 12 colors to a pattern. It has 8 warranties, and it even includes steps. The stain warranty will take care of wine, mud, and even pet accidents. So this is perfect for Jake.
Yeah, perfect for Jake, and perfect for me, and perfect for you, too. If you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, really owe it to yourself to visit their store, see their selection of Dreamweaver carpets. It's there at 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco. And whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
My name is Mike Gillimbardo, and I'm running to represent you in the Florida House. It was a great honor back in 2016 when Donald Trump's team asked me to speak at his campaign rally right here in Southwest Florida. And it was an even bigger honor to meet the man that would become our next president. My message that day was about unifying our country behind Donald Trump. Today, my message is the same. Donald Trump is under constant attack and needs our support more than ever. I'm Mike Gillimbardo, and I supported Donald Trump when he was a candidate, and I support him as our president. But unfortunately, my opponent's special interest friends are spending tens of thousands of dollars trying to tell you I don't support our president. And that's just not true. While I'm working to unite our party, he's working to divide it. I'm Mike Gillimbardo. I'm a combat veteran who worked to help Donald Trump get elected. If you send me to the Florida House, I will ensure Donald Trump succeeds in keeping America great. Paid by Mike Lombardo, Republican for the Florida House.
1 hour air conditioning and heating, always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Please visit us at www.onehourairnaples.com or call 844-1-HOUR.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
Looks like Planned Parenthood's favorite politician, Heather Fitzenhagen, has some explaining of her own to do. While in the legislature, why did Heather Fitzenhagen fail to pay her property taxes 4 times in 5 years?
Lucy?
Why did the Florida Elections Commission find probable cause that Fitzenhagen was untruthful on her financial disclosure form? Why have Fitzenhagen's campaigns racked up over 50 violations and more than $3,000 in fines?
You got some explaining to do.
Why did Fitzenhagen's special interest funded PAC pay for her hotel room in Toronto, Canada? Why was Fitzenhagen's stay at the Ritz-Carlton Resort in Aruba paid for by her campaign? Why did Heather Fitzenhagen lose the lawsuit filed by her Tallahassee landlord for wrecking her apartment and not paying her rent? There's got to be an explanation for all of this.
We are waiting.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez for Florida Senate.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on YouTube. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. And while you're there, please subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep this going. Love this story. Florida Democrats aim to register 1 million voters by now. They didn't come close. Florida Republicans are closer to parity in voter registration than they've been in decades. There's this big talk about flipping Florida blue, registering and re-engaging 1 million voters, including 200,000 new Democrats added by the Florida Democrat Party. How did they do? They didn't get it done. It was Andrew Gillum who was the one that said, listen, we're going to make this happen. That's my goal. That's what it was. Well, didn't come out to be that way. Not even close. And I'll tell you the number, but just a refresher. 34,000 votes were the difference between DeSantis and Gillum. And I bring that up because that's how this fight is going to be here in the state of Florida. You don't take anything for granted. You do not take anything for granted, but I'm telling you that Democrats, as they try to get more people registered here in the state of Florida, they are having a tough time. Democrats led Republicans in the state by 240,000 people. That's about 5,000 fewer than at the same point in 2018. 3.6 million voters registered without party affiliation. And what I'm telling you when you look at these numbers is that there is parity here in the state. There's no passion on the Democrat side. It doesn't mean you stop fighting, but this is good news for Republicans.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Today, Byron Donalds claims he's for law and order. Yesterday, he wanted weaker sentences for felons.
We're going to provide some additional time off of sentences.
Yesterday, Byron Donalds, arrested for drugs and theft himself, wanted compassion for drug dealers.
Giving discretion to judges in some drug offenses.
Today, Byron claims he's for President Trump and a safe election. Yesterday,
we do want convicted felons to get their rights to vote.
Who will Byron Donalds be tomorrow? Paid for by Honesty America, not endorsed by any candidate or any candidates committee.
Let's talk buttons. Not the buttons on clothes, the ones that do things. The ones that beg the question, what's that button do? There's just something satisfying about pressing buttons. And now, if you have sleep apnea and can't use CPAP, there's a button you can press that's really satisfying. It lets you go from sleeping like this to this. It's called Inspire, and it's as simple as, you guessed it, clicking a button. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, a button. Inspire is a small device implanted in a same-day outpatient procedure. Simply click the button on the Inspire remote before you fall asleep. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. If you're struggling with CPAP, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Now more than ever, it's essential to have a primary care provider ready to care for you. Book your first appointment through Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, and get established with a care team who will be there for you wherever and whenever you need. primary and specialty care, walk-in centers, lab services, imaging centers, and COVID-19 evaluation and testing. Connect with Millennium Physician Group today and be ready for tomorrow. 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG, millenniumphysician.com.
Are you tired of a government for developers and special interest groups with a negative impact on our quality of life? My name is Nick Betos, and this is why I'm running for Lee County Commission, District 3. I was the first mayor of Estero and have been advocating for quality of life issues in Lee County for over 15 years. Our businesses and economy must have the support they need to recover from these trying times. Impact fees need to be reinstated to help build our roads, schools, and parks. Water quality must be our top priority. Mining expansion must be restricted. And the Conservation 2020 Fund must be used for what it was intended for, buying and preserving environmentally sensitive land. Remember to vote for Nick Betos on August 18th. Visit BetosForLeeCounty.com and Facebook at Betos for Lee County. Paid for by Nicholas Betos, Republican for Lee County Commission, District 3.
Fox News, I'm Pam Huso.
There was a shooting outside of the White House.
That was President Trump after returning to the White House briefing room. He was escorted out yesterday after a confrontation between a man and a Secret Service officer.
The suspect then turned around, ran aggressively towards the officer, and in a drawing motion, withdrew an object from his clothing.
Secret Service Uniform Division Chief Thomas Sullivan says the agent fired his weapon after the suspect crouched into a shooter stance. The suspect is hospitalized. 20 million and counting, the number of coronavirus cases around the world.
The number of people killed by COVID-19 globally has reached over 730,000, according to Johns Hopkins University.
Fox's Jill Nato. Officials say the U.S. has the highest infection rate. America's listening to Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stadium Dry Cleaners. Online at stadiumdrycleaners.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Investigators say carbon monoxide poisoning may be to blame for killing a woman and two dogs inside their home. It happened yesterday off Grady Drive in North Fort Myers. In addition to the woman and dogs who died, another woman had to go to the hospital. A father left his 4-year-old son alone so he could go to DUI school. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office says Eric Sickler now faces child neglect charges. That young boy told deputies he woke up and could not find his dad, so he went for a walk outside. Sickler is now out of jail on bond, and deputies say the child is now with his mother. Cape Coral just took another step towards removing the Chiquita lock. The city gave approval for a hired law firm to ask the DEP for permission to remove the lock. Opponents of the plan fear removing it could have negative consequences for our water quality, but you boaters have experienced long wait times trying to get out to Cape Harbor. Bus stop benches to make sure your children are safe when they go to school are being ignored. Grass is growing over them and no maintenance is being done for upkeep. The Shield for Kids organization is now doing their best to clean up the benches in Lehigh Acres. Even though fewer kids are expected to ride the bus this fall, the group says they're still going to keep children safe at the bus stop. More COVID testing in Lee County. Today's testing takes place at Three Oaks Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Florida Department of Health in Lee County is teaming up with the Lee County government for the free walk-up testing. 300 tests will be available. And a Fort Myers man will speak to the Democratic National Convention next week. Aldo Martinez is a paramedic who came to our country at the age of 12. Martinez spent 7 days walking across the U.S.-Mexican border with his parents. He says he's very nervous to speak, but feels it's crucial. He doesn't know which night he'll speak yet, but his ultimate goal in life is to be a trauma surgeon. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
The crash in Fort Myers at River Hall Parkway and Palm Beach Boulevard is still slowing traffic for 1 mile heading westbound towards Buckingham Road. The best way to navigate around this, Old Olga Road. Also delays in Cape Coral on Del Prado Boulevard traveling north of Pine Island. To get around this slowdown, hop on Andalusia, fully up to speed. A very nice commute, though, heading out of Cape Coral on both bridges. Now in Fort Myers, traffic is just a touch slow on McGregor Boulevard, south to College Parkway. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Mother Nature on repeat as we're going to start sunny and dry. Temperatures in the 70s and then 90s. Scorcher of an afternoon as we are going to be popping up another round of scattered showers and storms. And a few of these storms could pack a punch. We do it all over again for your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way into the weekend. if you want to make those outdoor plans and stay dry, the earlier that you do it, the better you're going to be, because during the PM hours, scattered rain and storms with temps in the 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
You know the problem in Washington? Too many politicians are full of should. They should keep promises, should serve the people, should avoid corruption. But when it's time to deliver, it's just a load of should. Then along comes Donald J. Trump, and the DC insiders, they lose their should. Byron Donalds is a lot like Trump that way. Donalds is willing to shake things up. You could take Trump's word for it.
I want to thank Representative Donalds. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him.
Now Byron Donalds is running for Congress. Donalds fought for low taxes in Tallahassee. He'll keep fighting to protect your paycheck in Congress. Donalds backs term limits. And Donalds stands with Trump to defend our police. Conservative Republican Byron Donalds for Congress. He'll make a difference in Washington. No should. Paid for by Club for Growth Action. Clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Cataract surgery is not so basic anymore because technology has paved the way so that patients can design their vision to meet their individual lifestyle needs. Dr. Jonathan Franz and his team of caring professionals at Franz Eye Care are bringing you state-of-the-art technology through the light adjustable lens. So what's the wow factor, you ask? Your prescription adjustments can be customized after cataract surgery through a series of non-invasive light treatments. The light adjustable lens is made of a special photosensitive material that changes the power of an implanted lens in response to UV light. Imagine that, a lens designed for the unique individual nature of your eyes. It's lights on after cataract surgery with the light adjustable lens. Call Franz Eye Care today to find out if you qualify and see your future in 2020. Dial ** 2020 from your cell phone or call 239-418-0999. That's 239-418-0999.
Dial ** 2020. Franz Eye Care.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay break 92.5 Fox News 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on the YouTubes at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. While you're there, subscribe. The button's somewhere on your screen. You can see it. It's there. So, a couple of things that I wanted to get to, some a little more ridiculous, but play into kind of what is the ridiculousness of where we are in society. Not only the story that I brought up earlier about a Brooklyn College professor of math education who tells us now that mathematical equations like 2 + 2 = 4, quote, reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. Because, it was white guys that came up with the 2 + 2 = 4 trope. Along with the, of course, math is neutral because 2 + 2 = 4 trope, and the related and creepy math is pure and protect math reeks of white supremacist patriarchy, she said. I'd rather think on nurturing people and protecting the planet with math in service of them goals. With math in service of, that's what her quote was. This is where we are in society. And there is one party that nurtures this way of thinking, and there's another... Well, no, let me scratch that. There is one group of individuals and a party that will nurture this, and then there is an ideology that says, what are you doing? How could you possibly say 2 + 2 = 4 is a white supremacist patriarchy, and we have to get rid of that because that is something that was created... I can't even make sense of it. All I can think of is you tell little Johnny that 2 + 2 = 7, and then have him be the person who is going to design the next, space flight, and then scratch his head when it doesn't make it even to production because they can't figure out how to put the parts together because the math doesn't add up. Just putting that out there. We have that. We also have the latest on what is now... homeschooling, or what people think is homeschooling. Let me just remind everybody that if it's a pandemic and you are concerned about the safety and security of your kids in schools, where the data would suggest that you don't have as much to worry about as you're being told. There's risk in everything, but the kind of super spreader risk that you think is going to happen in a school has not been evidenced anywhere on the planet as of all the information that I have had. We're not talking about supposing. We're not talking about it's possible that. We're talking about the data that has been discussed in countries across the globe, including in places like Europe, Sweden and Finland. And you know how there are people like Bernie Sanders loves talking about, Sweden and Finland and how we need to be more like them. It's what you do. I mean, this is what you do. He said it a million times, but yet when the evidence would come out to show you that maybe the decisions that this country has been taking with regard to COVID, and that when you actually look at the model, the model in Sweden, let's just say, that they had no masks, no lockdowns, no vaccines. They sent their kids to school, and now everything has returned to normal in Sweden. Death and ICU visits have disappeared, and it happened without destroying the country, the economy, and locking down and everything else. I mean, this is evidence where countries did send their kids back to school and have been watching to see what was happening in schools and whether or not there was super spreader situations. Come to find out that that is not what's happening. That's not me. That's not me making it up. That's not Pollyanna. That is evidence, science, data that we're supposed to be watching, right? On the heels of this, now we have students in one central Illinois district that are barred from wearing pajamas while taking online classes. Education officials saying that sleepwear is, quote, not acceptable school apparel, unquote. We're having this discussion now. Now, if you dig into the story from NBC News, you find out a little bit more about this. I mean, it is what's happening. And I don't know, I would ask you, 239-479-5592, if you want to call and chime in on this. I mean, do you care if your child is at home and they are learning from home right now? They are being educated in a different location, not homeschooled. Big difference. Not homeschool. It's not the traditional homeschool. It's not what I'm doing here in my home. It is being educated in a different location. Do you have, is your child like laying in their bed with a laptop, not out of bed yet? They haven't even got up for the day. Basically, they just kind of grabbed the computer and sat in bed. Is that what's happening? Or is it that there are other people, there are so many dynamics: hats, caps, bandanas, hoods of any type, sweatbands, sunglasses, pajama pants, slippers, or shoes with wheels attached to the bottom shall not be worn in the buildings. This goes to the dress code in the schools. So now they're saying, listen, we don't need the same thing happening at home. Okay, if you're on a Zoom conference, you don't need to be wearing hats, caps, bandanas, hoods, sweatbands, sunglasses, pajama pants, slippers, or shoes with wheels attached to the bottom. I only bring this story up because I'm just wondering if this is something that you do at home. Do you care? Is that what's happening in your home? You're just, I don't know. It's kind of that relaxed atmosphere. And do you envision that as a good thing or a bad thing? In other words, the casual atmosphere that is in your home as your child's learning, or is it distracting? It's an interesting discussion, but for me, it's the 30,000 foot looking down and just seeing, oh man, how there are those in power that just are willing to just kind of reach through the camera, as it were, to even infiltrate what's going on in your home. I mean, is it because, well, by the way, I thought the trend, and maybe Jake the millennial can tell me about this, wasn't the trend recently wearing pajamas out and about? I mean, aren't you millennials like all about that? Aren't you wearing like your jammies as, wasn't that like a Kardashian thing or something, that everybody was wearing pajamas to go out to the supermarket? Am I missing something? Maybe I am. I don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I thought that was happening. I thought that was a thing. But I don't know. I just look at this story and think, all right, so now we're concerned about dress codes is it really about the dress codes? Or is it the concern that maybe some people have that when you're learning from home, that kids are taking too laxed an attitude with their learning? Here's the key. Get them back in school. Get back to school. You can do both. Look, you can mask up. You got teachers who don't want to go. Don't go. They want to teach virtually. Teach virtually. I'm concerned about, okay, every concern can be met in a teaching environment. Every concern. But ultimately, the best thing is to get the kids back into classrooms. If you choose not to, that's your choice. I wish people would make it based more on evidence that would show that it is not a safe place to be. And in some cases, there may be even more precautions and safety measures that are taking place in a school than are taking place in their own home environment. Something that's out there. So I don't know. I saw that story, just caught my attention because I think the bigger picture is we need to get back to work. We need to get back out to schools. We have evidence to show that when you have certain countries that didn't do the kind of lockdowns and the things that we are doing that is destroying an economy, that is destroying the psyche of kids who right now more than ever need normalcy in their life, that we're not doing a lot to help, it feels like, in some ways. And so I always look at that and I'm concerned. All right, Woody's in Fort Myers. Woody wanted to chime in on this. Hey, Woody, how are you? Is Woody there? Did I lose Woody? Here's Woody.
No, I'm here.
Hey, Woody. I'm sorry. I just heard you. Are you a teacher, Woody?
I am.
All right. Great. I love your perspective on this. What do you think?
Well, my comment on last spring is that when everybody went virtual, if you're in a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet meeting, you got a grid view where all the kids you can see all the kids and so forth. If kids are in a situation where they can see one another, a kid lying in bed on a laptop doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
It just, it sends kind of a bad view. As far as the whole thing with hats and, hoodies and all that crap, I don't think it's a big deal. Kids, if kids are attentive and they're paying attention, that's not a big deal. It's a different environment, obviously, than the school.
Right. Yeah. The intention here is to make sure that they are paying attention and they're treating this as if they were in a classroom. You hope that that's what's happening with distance learning the way it has been. And what I think these individuals are more concerned about is there have been instances where you would have a kid. I'm looking at the article where there was one child, I guess, in particular, which is not anecdotal of everyone, who was, I guess, laying in their bed with a laptop on their stomach while they were supposed to be, that's not really indicative of what you would imagine a good learning experience would be when it comes to concentrating and being engaged. That's not what you want them to do. But again, in this article, you have one kid that has a situation like this that all of a sudden is now supposed to be anecdotal of every single child that's learning remotely. And that's really not fair either, right?
Oh, I would agree with that. Yeah. I understand the privacy argument too, to some extent. I mean, it all boils down to, how much support are you getting from the parents? If parents want their kid to learn, they're going to enforce some things. Hey, you're going to be sitting up. Hey, you're going to be looking in the camera and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. So, listen. Well, Woody, I think it's great. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. 239-479-5592. And on this subject, I can just give you my own personal Drew Steele home perspective as we homeschool. I promise you that there would be nothing like that happening in this house as my son is being taught. You do a routine, you get yourself prepared for the day, you take a shower, you're getting dressed, you're getting ready, and then when learning starts, the focus starts, and that's not in pajamas, it's not laying in bed, it's a focused environment, as it should be, just like it would be at school. But look, if you're concerned about that, you're worried about what's happening with distance learning, here's a remedy. Get them back in the classroom. That might be it. And I did want to say that as well, getting back to things that are anecdotal as opposed to science and data driven and what the science shows as opposed to specific individuals. It's easy for news organizations, whether they're local, state, national, to focus on the one individual the one situation that is not the norm according to the science and the data, and make that anecdotally that this is every child, every learning experience, every COVID case, that if one person, it gets, for every COVID tragedy that there is, it's not anecdotal of that one individual that they pick on. For example, if you find somebody, if there's one child in the state that died of COVID and there is no other explanation except for that, it is a sad reality for the family, and certainly for people who see that situation. But to take that and make that anecdotal and to say that's what kids are up against when they go back to school, that's not what the data and science shows, and that's not being fair. It's not fair for that to be put out that way. So just wanted to throw that in there. All right, 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on the YouTube right now at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. You ready to go? Let's play Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. We do it at this time each and every day, so you know to look forward to it. I know many of you do, and as I open up the phone lines right now for you to call, looking forward to, I don't know, Jake, take caller number 7 today. That's what we should do. We'll do caller number 7, 239-479-5592. The 7th caller today. We'll play Drew's College. Let's have a little bit of fun coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, Sabrina Katz has your traffic.
The crash in Fort Myers at River Hall Parkway and Palm Beach Boulevard is still slowing traffic for 1 mile heading westbound towards Buckingham Road. The best way to navigate around this, Old Olga Road. Also delays in Cape Coral on Del Prado Boulevard traveling north of Pine Island. To get around this slowdown, hop on Andalusia, fully up to speed. A very nice commute, though, heading out of Cape Coral on both bridges. Now in Fort Myers, traffic is just a touch slow on McGregor Boulevard south to College Parkway. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
94 degrees, a hot and humid day of weather with our heat index over 100. Sunny and dry morning, and then by the afternoon and evening hours, keep your eyes to the sky with scattered showers and thunderstorms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steele, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele here, and hurricane season, it's upon us, and it's supposed to be a pretty active season for 2020. Get peace of mind from my friends at Generator Supercenter, the #1 Generac automatic standby generator dealer in the nation. You don't have to sweat the next outage. I've had my Generac for years. It is amazing. Get your free estimate on your Generac automatic standby generator today, in time for hurricane season, with expert installation and 24-hour monitoring. Generator Supercenter. Give them a shout at 204-3469. That's 204-3469 for Generator Supercenter.
Today, businesses are starting to bounce back, but what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt and find new ways to succeed? With new customers? Well, Comcast Business wants to help you do just that. Learn how you can not just bounce back, but bounce forward at ComcastBusiness.com.
Attention commercial building owners. The Flying Locksmiths of Southwest Florida are now open, specializing in automatic doors, access controls, and CCTV cameras. Visit them online at flyinglocksmiths.com. If it's on the door, we handle it.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor, the Pool Doctor.
Hi, Dr. Mark here. Is your pool a pain to operate? Automation is the answer. Use your phone to turn on your spa, and it'll be warm when you get home. Free on-site evaluations. We're a family company, and for over 40 years, we've been doing business right.
The prescription is the Pool Doctor for award-winning pool service, repairs, and unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133. State certified CPC 057088.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau here, owner of D.R. Martineau Roofing of Southwest Florida. I've been repairing and replacing roofs for 27 years. We operate with integrity, knowledge, and service. Google DRM Roofing or call 239-332-1441.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Building a dream takes hard work, discipline, determination. Casey Asgar started with nothing, but his hard work created jobs. His discipline shaped a community. His determination built an American dream. Those same qualities built our nation. And to rebuild our economy, we need them now more than ever.
I'm Casey Askar, and I approve this message. My family came to America to pursue the American dream. We owe it to our children to keep the dream alive.
Paid for by Casey Askar for Congress.
At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our comfort specialists can handle any AC repair. Just call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Mike in Fort Myers. Hello there, Mike in Fort Myers.
Today.
I'm doing fantastic. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. And your associate's degree question, sir, starts right now. Hey, Mike, do you know the name of the governor of the state of Florida right now, as we speak? Who's the governor?
Ron DeSantis.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got an associate's. We'll see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. Why does the United States flag have 50 stars?
Represent the 52 states.
No, that's the 57 states, sir. Let's get that right, please. That is semi-correct. Can we accept that as the joking part? Can we accept that, Jake? Yes, we can. Okay, good. I got you. Okay, you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this question. Wow, Mike, are you okay over there? Did you just get attacked by a lion? What was that?
A window in the car.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's you're going to be a lot of fun at a zoo if you ever drive up with that window roaring. Anyway, all right. Your master's degree. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. That was called
Civil War.
That's correct, sir. All right. You got a master's, a PhD on this question. Who was president during World War I? President during World War. Was it FDR or Woodrow Wilson?
FDR.
No, it was Woodrow Wilson. All right, well, that's okay. Listen, you got a master's degree today on Drew's College, and you have a window that sounds like a lion roaring when you open it up. How exciting is that?
Yeah, awesome. It's a new truck. I'm going to have to go get that checked out.
Well, either that or get the other one on the other side to like do a noise like a pig or a horse or... All right. Well, anyway, you got a master's degree today on Drew's College, and sorry about the new truck sound there, but it stuff happens. All right. Well, you stay there. You get to talk to Jake. Jake will get that diploma out to you. So we appreciate the call. Coming up in a few minutes, let's talk about Trey last night on the drive had the governor on, and I wanted to play a couple of clips, pretty important clips that I'm going to play. Great conversation that Trey had with the governor. So I want to get to some of that and your thoughts as well coming up. Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
I'm Dr. William Figglestaller. In this election cycle, you have choices. As you sit down to cast your vote, I hope you'll consider this. While all my career politician opponents are hiding behind their Washington super PACs, attacking each other and me, I've been focused on one thing, fighting for you and the conservative values we hold dear. Because tearing each other down is no way to build our country up. I'm Dr. William Figglestaller. I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote on August 18th.
Paid for by William Figglestaller, Republican, House District 19.
If you're far from water, you might think a flood can't happen to you. But the truth is, there are hidden risks that can leave your property vulnerable, like runoff from new development, changing weather patterns, and even wildfires. But if you have flood insurance, you have peace of mind, knowing that you can recover faster. Protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov/storm to learn more. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
For the past 58 years, Conditioned Air is focused on your comfort. Today more than ever, our business community, our nonprofits, our leaders, and our citizens are relying on each other for strength. It's not a me thing, a you thing, it's a we time in our lives. Conditioned Air is here for you and here for our community. Whether you're looking for routine air conditioning service and repair for your home, installation of a new air conditioning system in a large commercial property, or anything in between, our Conditioned Air team is eager to help. You can count on the people of Conditioned Air. We are your neighbors, parents of school children, volunteers in the communities, coworkers, consumers, and supporters of all types of businesses. We want to help you when and where you need us, at your business or in your home. Your comfort is essential. Invest wisely. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962, serving all of Southwest Florida. Call 1-888-COLD-AIR or log on to conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by CFS Roofing. Online at cfsroofing.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Investigators say carbon monoxide poisoning may be to blame for killing a woman and two dogs inside their home. It happened yesterday off Grady Drive in North Fort Myers. In addition to the woman and dogs who died, another woman had to go to the hospital. A father left his 4-year-old son alone so he could go to DUI school. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office says Eric Sickler now faces child neglect charges. That young boy told deputies he woke up and could not find his dad, so he went for a walk outside. Sickler is now out of jail on bond, and deputies say the child is now with his mother. Cape Coral just took another step towards removing the Chiquita lock. The city gave approval for a hired law firm to ask the DEP for permission to remove the lock. Opponents of the plan fear removing it could have negative consequences for our water quality, but you boaters have experienced long wait times trying to get out to Cape Harbor. Bus stop benches to make sure your children are safe when they go to school are being ignored. Grass is growing over them and no maintenance is being done for upkeep. The Shield for Kids organization is now doing their best to clean up the benches in Lehigh Acres. Even though fewer kids are expected to ride the bus this fall, the group says they're still going to keep children safe at the bus stop. More COVID testing in Lee County. Today's testing takes place at Three Oaks Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Florida Department of Health in Lee County is teaming up with the Lee County government for the free walk-up testing. 300 tests will be available.